Today we have a video to help you know how to get kids talking in your classroom.
So we're going to talk about a couple different things, but first I want to talk about a common thing that teachers do, and that's pulling sticks. So when we pull sticks, we're actually getting really low engagement. We're getting one kid out of our whole class to talk. Now, there is an appropriate time to use that, and we're going to tell you when is appropriate to use a stick. But really, to get kids talking, that's not a very high engagement practice.
No.
So we're going to move pulling sticks off of our list of how to get kids talking for a minute.
So we need kids talking in small groups though.
Yeah.
So we're going to first talk about like a buddy, a pair. So Angie's going to share a way of when we need them sharing in pairs, how we can do that.
All right, first we can do, I would say, buddy up. That was my signal. So when I was ready to have my students share together, I said, buddy up, and they knew what that meant because I taught them a procedure.
Yeah, and I go clap, clap, teach, and they teach each other. They're collaborating, they're buddying up. That's what I use. There's tons of different ways.
Yes.
So if you have a way you'd like to share, leave it in the comment below and we can share our ideas.
Yeah. And no matter what your signal is, the kids need to know their roles in that partnering. We have a listener role and we have a talking role. And so we'll call them for what we do, A and B, because that's what I call them, buddy A, buddy B.
Yeah.
And they have a role and then they switch. So they each get a chance to listen and they each get a chance to talk.
Yeah. So it would look like you're posing your question or whatever you're having them talk about. So you pose that, and we both, as we were talking about this video, we both point to our heads anytime we're having our students think. Yep. So think about, think, let them think, right? Give them that think time, and then give your signal. But before you give your signal, they need to know who goes first. You need to have a procedure built in. So I just simply go, A's, you're up, teach. And my A partner knows to go first, and they know the procedure. That B, you're not off the hook. You're sharing too. And so it's real slick. So I have a rug in my classroom, and then I have desks as well. So I assign A's and B's at my rug, and then I assign colors or numbers at the desks because they have a different partner, and I don't want the A's or numbers or colors to get mixed up. So in any part of your classroom, you can assign a role, number, letter, whatever.
Yeah, so you can do it at the rug, at their desks, anywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because we want them talking all the time.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So there's also another way that we can get kids talking, and that's whole group response. So a whole group response or a choral response, sometimes we do things, I still point to my head and I say, think, respond, or listen. And then I snap and I want them to say back what I've said.
Just chorally, everyone.
Chorally, everyone. So that's my signal.
Mm-hmm. So I think if we stop at the thinking and we never let them respond to a buddy, to out loud on their whiteboard, whatever, we don't know they're thinking. So we have to get them talking, responding somehow. And that's why one stick at a time is very low engagement because then you're only seeing one student's thinking, right? So we want to see all students thinking. We want to hold them accountable. So you mentioned that. I like to use mirrors. So when I hold up my hands, they are my mirror. And they know whatever I say, they're repeating right away. Mirrors. And I get to where I don't even have to say mirrors. They know and they're repeating. I use that for objective language often. Something that I need them to be engaged and know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'll do my turn and I'll do or say it, and then I'll say your turn and then have them do or say what I just did.
Perfect. So that's another way to correspond.
And that's how I teach them to do partner, peer tutoring is I teach them to do my turn, your turn. So where they become kind of the teacher. So it becomes almost model my turn, your turn, and then they begin to be the teacher
They
with
apply
my
it
turn, your
in
turn.
their
Yeah.
pair. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Student whiteboards is an awesome way to see their thinking, their response. So think, and you
Right.
can point,
Everybody
give your
write it
response.
down.
Everybody starts writing. I also like to use, and this is going to vary what you're doing, but think, blow it in your hand. They blow it in their hand, and it's super quick, and then release, and they all just whisper, say it. And it's really high engagement. They're all saying it or not saying it, and there's your assessment, right?
Yeah. Now, if the assessment is that they're responding, but you still want a chance to do a true assessment, here's where your stick pulling comes in.
Yeah.
So it can be at the end of your choral response or at the end of your buddy share, think, pair, share. You now put in your stick pull.
Yeah.
So this is the point of assessment. How did they do with their talking? Whether it's together as a pair or as a whole, how did we do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull a stick and I'm going to assess. That's what that stick is for.
Yeah.
So now, this is key. I pose the question. Everybody's thinking of the answer. And then I pull the stick and say who it is shares the answer. So I still have everybody engaged in thinking about the answer. So make sure you say the question before you say the name on the stick.
Yeah. And if you did that in pair share in a buddy, they've already shared with their buddy.
Mm-hmm.
If you did that in a whole class, they would have already had the opportunity to think and respond.
Yeah.
So they've already had those opportunities, and then you pull the stick and assess.
So we're kind of giving a nice gradual release to talking, really.
Mm-hmm.
Kids learning how to share, learning how for our ESL students to verbally respond to things, giving them a chance at using language.
So there may be times you need sentence frames to get them going.
Yes.
You definitely need to build in listening and speaking procedures in the buddy share. So make sure you do that.
Yeah. But most importantly, we want to get kids talking.
It should not be silent all day long in your classroom.
No.
So we have a quiet video, how to get kids quiet, very appropriate, but then we need to get them talking.
Yeah.
So get your students talking.
Yes.
Well, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment. We want to know your signals. What signals are you using in buddy or whole class? And make sure you share this video, and don't forget, subscribe to our channel. We're posting videos every Tuesday and Thursday. You won't want to miss any. Thanks. Simply Teach.